Hey everyone, Shane here with eTrailer.com. Today I have a 2022 BMW X5. I'm going to walk through how to install the Curt Multifunction powered taillight converter. This is what it's going to look like when it's installed. It's going to live inside the vehicle. We're going to drape it through our tailgate, our hatch, down through the bottom to connect to our trailer. It's going to give us all the proper functions that we're going to need when towing a trailer. Our neighbor today is actually going to use it because he's pulling the trailer so he can move from one state to another. This is also going to be helpful if you want to add a 7-pole. Maybe you want to put a brake controller on. With this being already installed, you can put a 7-pole on, add a brake controller with the ETBC7 if you're pulling a trailer that has brakes on it. Maybe you have a bike rack or a cargo carrier that sticks out, comes up above your tail lights, but you can add lights to the back of it. This is a way to get those lights to function on the back. So it's going to get everything you need: running lights, turn signals, and brake lights. As far as the installation goes, it's not too difficult. It is going to live inside the vehicle. The good thing is the battery's back here, so we don't have to run a wire all the way up to the front like other vehicles. It can be difficult to do it. However, I figured out an easy way to do it, which I'm going to walk you through now. To make the installation easier, we're going to go ahead and remove our taillights. We're going to pop this little panel off here. We're going to take a T30 Torx bit or star bit, remove these 2 screws. We're going to take a 12mm socket. We're going to take this little panel off here. Right up inside, pull down the carpet. There's a stud. With a nut on it. We need to remove that nut. Pop our light out. Push this little tab on our wiring, and we'll disconnect the wiring. Passenger side is going to be the same as far as these 2 bolts. However, getting the nut on the stud off is going to be just a little bit different. I'm going to reach right up inside this little hole right here. We need to pop this little cap off. I'm going to take an 8mm socket and remove that bolt. For the bolt or the stud, the nut that's on the stud for this taillight, your fuse panel is all right here. There's no way really getting into it. So, the easiest way that I have found to do it is you can actually pop this panel off and go straight to it. There's little tabs there that hook right on the edge of this. The stud is located right back there. I'm going to take a long extension, again 12mm socket. Pop out this taillight the same way and disconnect your wiring. I'm going to take my wiring, the grommet here, and I'm going to push it through to the inside. It's going to make it a little bit easier to test it. On your passenger side, as I mentioned, the fuse panel is right there. It's going to be hard to get this grommet and push it in to get your wiring inside, but there is enough where you can pull it out and test your wires right here. We determine through testing that the green wire with this blue stripe is going to be our stop and turn signal on both sides. For our driver's side, this purple wire is going to be our running light signal. And we're only going to have a running light signal off of our driver's side. We're not going to have one on the passenger side. So we're only going to be tapping into these 2 wires over here. Passenger side, we're only going to be tapping into the green wire. With it being only a 2-wire system, we're going to take this red wire, strip it back. Need to add a ring terminal on it. Crimp it down, and it's going to get grounded with the white wire. 2 wires are going to be tapping in on the driver's side are going to be our yellow and brown. Yellow is going to be our stop and turn signal, which is going to go to the green wire. Brown is going to be our running light signal, which is going to go to the purple wire. So I'm going to go on this side of this grommet. So when I push this wire back through, my wiring stays inside. We're going to take one of these, We're going to slide it on like this. Purple wire, again, is going to be our running light signal. Take our brown wire, feed it right up in the end until it stops. Take a pair of pliers, channel locks, whatever you can. You want to crimp this center section down. We're going to take this, push it back through, and get our grommet set back in place. There's wiring that runs right back on this edge. Take a zip tie that comes in with your kit, slide it through that hole, and we're going to zip tie it right to that wiring. I'm going to put one here. I'm going to put one right here around the wiring at the bottom. That'll hold this in place. We're going to take this black wire. We're going to add on a ring terminal, a butt connector. You're going to get a roll of black wire in your kit. You're going to add it into the other end. You're going to get a whole roll. Since our battery's back here, cut off about 6 foot of it. We're going to go from here across and connect it to our battery. Strip back the ends. And then to the other end of the butt connector. Crimp it down. Now we're going to take all 4 of our wires. We're going to go right underneath this panel. Our red and our white wire, we're actually going to ground right here to this stud. Green wire, we're going to run over the passenger side. Black wire, we're going to run over. I'll either attach it to this battery here or go all the way across and attach it to that one. Take that nut off. Go ahead and add on our 2 wires. Reinstall the nut. Route your green wire right along this edge. We're going to take it and feed it out of the hole. So we'll reach in here. Now we can get attached to the correct wire here. We're going to take our fuse holder, cut it in half, strip back both ends, add a butt connector in one end, ring terminal on the other. We're going to take our black wire. We're going to determine which battery we're going to go to. So I think I'm going to take it right to this battery right here. Cut our wire. Strip it back. Take your butt connector with or your fuse holder with the butt connector end. Add it onto the black wire. Make sure the fuse is not in the holder. We're going to attach it right to this post. Once you've made that connection, you have it tight, then you can add your fuse and then test everything out. $10mm socket will remove this nut. And tighten it down. Add our fuse. Plug our taillights back in. Now we can test it. So now we're going to test out our wiring using part number I26. Left turn, right turn, brake lights, running lights. As far as running the wire, the 4-pole out from inside, run it right along the edge. We're going to drop it down, tuck it underneath your tailgate, and then close your tailgate. Gives you plenty of length to connect to your trailer wiring. When you want to store it, simply put the cover back on. You can store it right over here in this side panel. It's out of the way and ready to go for next time. Once you've tested everything out, you know it's working correctly, go ahead and install your interior panels. You're ready to go. It's going to do it for a look at installation of the Curt multi-powered taillight converter on a 2022 BMW X5.